Welcome to the temporary home of the Simulation Football League in our new, under construction office. But you know what? Guess who I brought with me today? It's a wild Tyler Falk here at the SFL studios as we kick off the quarterfinals this afternoon. Welcome, Tyler. How you doing?
It's good to be here, Cam. Thanks for welcoming into the new SFL headquarters as we get a little transition from the old into the new, and as we get further along in these playoffs, lots of interesting matchups, including Fort Worth, Vancouver later today.
It's going to be an excellent day of football here on Next Level Sports and across the SFL family of networks. Fort Worth and Vancouver getting us started here this afternoon. The third time these teams have met in the playoffs, only once in the regular season. That it's becoming a familiar trend, and for Vancouver, they're hoping to buck a familiar trend this afternoon.
Right, I mean, the familiar trend to start off with them against Fort Worth is they've played Fort Worth twice out of their 3 meetings at home. This is uncharted territory for both clubs, both for Vancouver being on the road against Fort Worth, and maybe a chance for them to finally get a back-to-back playoff win streak going, whereas Fort Worth, well, we've already talked about it, just haven't beaten Vancouver in the playoffs when they've played up across the border. So it's going to be interesting to see what they bring to the table, whether or not Vancouver's able to prevail, or whether or not Vancouver, or Fort Worth, meanwhile, is able to overcome the past 3 meetings.
We got Fort Worth trying to advance to their first semis. We've got Vancouver trying to get out of their second round woes. Vancouver and Fort Worth comes your way next. Colin and Rick Northrup on the call when we come back. You're watching the SFL playoffs on Next Level Sports.
You're looking live at a shot of downtown Fort Worth, Texas, where 2 teams that are very familiar with each other in a very familiar place. It's playoff time as the Vancouver Legion travels south of the border to visit the South Division champion, the Fort Worth Toros. Live from the Stockyards, Colin Northrup, Rick Northrup.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Fort Worth. It's SATURDAY.
We got Justin Rezai and Greg Soto. Statisticians Cameron Irvine. Following the shots back. The new headquarters.
Yeah, new headquarters, and Tyler Falk had joined him there. And in addition to the game, I'll be analyzing Tyler Falk's headgear game as well. So hopefully that generates some excitement, at least among Tyler.
Legion fresh off a 37-30 win over Indianapolis in the wild card round, trying to get out of the second round for Fort Worth in their best ever regular season. But so far, they've only won one playoff game and we're one and done in season 19.
Trying to change that tonight. Here where they've got the whole home field advantage going, and we're ready to go.
Chance to win to kick off. Receiving for the Toros
Yes.
is Charlie Baker. We are underway from the Stockyards here in Fort Worth. Yard deep out of his end zone. Baker up the middle. Now cuts to his right. Now back to the middle, and he'll be brought down at the 24. It'll be 1st and 10 for Marcus Dunhill and company.
Looked like that was going to be a fruitful cutback to the right, Colin, but Vancouver was wise to it and closed in quickly. And Fort Worth will take over on their own 24.
This is a
Get started. Sorry, go ahead.
This is a Fort Worth team that's number 3 in points per game during the regular season, number 3 in passing yards. They're 16th in rush yards per game. They start off with a run to J.Z. Bacon up the middle. He gains about 2 yards and will be 2nd and 8 from the 26. Let's bring you to Toro's offensive attack. Bacon is the running back. Aaron Alexander's the fullback. Rookie first-round pick John Fullerton is one of the wide receivers, along with Cade Stevens, Charlie Baker, and of course Stephen Hacker. Robert Garrett Jr. is the tight end. Left tackle is Amelia Penn, and the left guard is Frank Burks. As Bacon almost picks up a first down, they'll give him about 7 out to the 34.
Come on, they couldn't give him that first down. It sure looked like he achieved the line of gain, but it's 3rd and inches.
Achilles Papatonis, Carabin Womack are the defensive ends. Gerald Giudice is the defensive tackle. Josh Farnsey, Earl Fields the 4th, and Mark Eastreet are the linebacker. As Dunhill fires out, and that's completed to a wide receiver out of bounds at the 37. First grab of the day for number 88, Hacker. Secondary-wise for Vancouver, Major Keys the corner, along with Michael Lister. Zach Lay is the 3rd corner. Mark Lopez is the free safety. Will Stern, brother Sawyer Stern, is the fullback. He's on offense. And Drew Hamilton is the strong safety. 1st and 10 from the 37. Dunhill quick drop. Throw in the middle. Right in the hole of the zone defense. Catch is made to the Vancouver 48. It's Cowboy Robert Garrett Jr. Yeehaw!
Giddy up. And 3 running plays in a row, followed by 2 straight passing plays. It'll be interesting. Let's keep an eye on Fort Worth's mix here of run-pass as they go forward here. And under center, Colin, is that typical for Fort Worth? And
Yes,
Marcus Dunhill?
they do a lot of under center stuff with 2 people back there. The throw, oh, it's almost intercepted twice.
Oh,
Knocked away on the play by number 22. That is Major Key. It'll be 2nd and 10. Vancouver Legion defensively very good. Give up the fewest points a game with just a shade under 21. They give up 325 total yards per game. That's number 1. They're number 3 against the run, 65 yards, 260 through the air. And they forced 25 takeaways. Turnover differential -5. Fort Worth plus 11. That's 2nd best.
that's surprising for Vancouver to be at the top of the leaderboard in a lot of different statistical categories, but to be so far behind on the plus-minus column. But there's a reason they're in the playoffs, right?
Catch made out there by number 16, Stevens. It'll be 3rd and 4. From the 42, this is a Toro attack that converted 53% on 3rd down during the regular season. Vancouver allowed 56% 3rd downs defensively. Dunhill back to throw down the middle. Oh, it looked like he had it for a moment, but a beautiful coverage. That was Lopez out there, and Hacker looked like he had it. And Einhorn will be on for the punt.
Oh, my. Yeah, and in addition to looking like he was going to catch it, then the ball pops up. I don't know if that came up off the ground or if that was a little tip there, but a couple of dangerous little events on the receiving end for Fort Worth, and they've got to punt it away.
Einhorn won it away. Blackwell back deep for the return. They'll let this go, and this will bounce inside the down just short of the 5 at the 6.
That is a doornail right there. It just kind of died. Beautiful, beautiful punt. That's what every punter dreams about, being able to have that thing land and basically sit right down. So Vancouver starts off at their own 6.
Justice Blackwell is one of the wide receivers, along with Hexter Huxley. Brett Killian, who had 117 yards last week versus Indy, is their top guy. Sawyer Stern, the fullback, gets the first carry of the ball game, but he'll get stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. E.K. Vincent there to bring him down at the line of scrimmage.
Vancouver comes out showing a formation that you typically see down around the goal line, showing how important it is for them to pick up just a few yards here to get some breathing room, but it doesn't get them anything, and it's 2nd and 10.
Brown back to throw, fires, completed out to Chris Curtis. Number 84, one of the wide receivers. James Walters is the tight end. Michael Culberson is the left tackle, and Michael Percoco is the left guard. Defensively for Fort Worth, Jeff Duffy and Gary D. Gahn are the defensive ends. Luther Gahn and Melt Gibson are the defensive tackles. E.K. Vincent, Noah Rager.
As we watch this early critical 3rd down, and there's an offsides play.
Robert Redford gets the carry, and that's well past the 1st down marker.
I think that sucker will be declined. We'll take the 1st down.
First time hearing from R62, and it is a neutral zone infraction. Gary DeGon with the early head start. Noah Ragier, J.L. Browning are the outside linebackers. Adam Leach, Remington James, Aiden Davis are the corners. Ben Stone and Delaney Nash are the safeties. That completes your starting lineup for both teams.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much. And Vancouver able to get out from the shadow of their own goalposts out to the 29. And they're feeling pretty good about themselves right here, Colin.
Legion,
a little more comfortable starting field position for them.
3 people in the backfield. Redford again on the carry, and Redford carrying people forward. He'll pick up 6.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you hear calling Robert Redford's name a lot, tied with some success on each play, you know Vancouver is going to be doing pretty well.
This is a Legion team that's was top 10 in rushing with exactly 100 yards during the regular season, 9th best, as they go for the run again, and it's stopped for no gain on the play. Gary DeGon making up for his fraction a couple plays ago, Rick, sets up a 3rd and 4.
Yes, and Fort Worth gets that 3rd down, and that all defenses look for, and see what happens.
3rd down, it's really good for the Toros. They allow the 3rd fewest conversion percentage at 49. They're going up against a Vancouver team that converts 58% on 3rd down, so it's strength on strength. Here's to get the Redford up the middle. He easily picks up the 1st down as they go back to the run well once again, and this time it pays off handsomely, Rick, as Redford continues to pile up the yards. He has 3 carries for 25 yards.
Yeah, that's a good sign for the Legion, and I believe this is the 2nd sort of run up the middle for Redford. And scarily for Fort Worth, it looks like anytime Vancouver wants to do that in this early, in their first possession, it looks like it might be available. Here we got 3 in the backfield.
And they go again. Redford has plenty of green grass, picks up 9. It'll be 2nd and 1, and Redford already averaging over 8 yards a carry. He had 75 yards and 17 totes to the rock a week ago in their wild card victory over Indianapolis. Christian Brown, 42 of 56, 363 yards, and 3 touchdown passes were key in the effort. 2nd and 1. Brown. Redford again. He stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. They'll call it. It's another 3rd down, this time 3rd and 1 from the Fort Worth 47.
And Fort Worth D-line does a good job of mucking things up and getting some penetration and stopping Redford that time up the middle. Good on you, Toros.
They go 3 wide. This is now split back, standard pro set. They get the Redford. He doesn't get there.
Oh, no. Wow. Announcer Jinx, sorry about that, Legion. Fort Worth says thank you very much.
And that's Gary D gone again. And the offense is staying out on the field here on 4th down. Let's see if this turns into a staring contest. This is weak eye Jokers.
Likely will be. First half timeouts are less valuable than second half timeouts. They already have one defensive offsides, trying to draw them again.
And it won't work. They call timeout with 4:07 to go in the opening stanza. Christian Brown, he's been outstanding for this Legion ball club. 6'6", 220 pounds, second year with the Legion team. And as far as regular seasons go, his was sparkling in just about every category, completing 72% of his passes, throwing for over 3,500 yards and 18 touchdowns, but also turnover prone with 28 interceptions, quarterback rating of 83, sacked only 15 times in the regular season.
If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, it's football for everyone.
3 wide receivers. 4, Marcus Dunhill under center, turns, gives to Bacon. Bacon carrying defenders as he's tackled at the 20-yard line. Exactly a 5-yard pickup.
Wow, some tough running there, and brings up 2nd and 5, which is puts them a little ahead of the chains. Colin.
Bacon over 1,000 yards on 208 carries, 5.4 yards per carry, and 15 rushing touchdowns. Both the average and touchdowns, top 5 in the league at 4th place. 2nd and 5, Dunn turns, gives. Bacon's immediately men in the backfield.
Wow.
By Big Gerald Giudice, number 68, and that sets up a 3rd and 8 here, Rick.
That's an incredible individual play there to bring up now 3rd and long. That's behind the chains. And we'll take this quick opportunity to note that the Rick Meter has made the trip down here to Fort Worth. We'll get to that later.
5 wide receivers, Dunhill back to throw, fires the corner out. Oh, knocked away beautifully by number 41, Zach Lay, on the deflection. And the Legion going to stop at the Toros deep in their own territory. Should be excellent field position.
Yeah, well, so field position is important, as this game has featured 3 possessions with the 3rd punt coming up right now. But as you said, Colin, Vancouver should have pretty good starting field position for their 2nd possession here. It's a tight one here in the 1st quarter in Fort Worth, Colin.
Einhorn with the punt, Justice Blackwell to receive. He'll receive it just over his 50. He advances into Fort Worth territory. He'll be brought down at the 43-yard line.
It's always good to start out on the plus side of the field, am I right?
You're right, Rick. Fort Worth, 4.5-point favorites at home, over under 57.5. The number 3 overall seed, Vancouver, winning their 5th straight Pacific Division title, finishes 8-5. They're the 7th seed. Fort Worth, most wins in a regular season with 9, captured the SFL's South Division. Throw down the middle of the field, caught by James Walters.
Walters had to sort of become a rubber band there as he's getting hit low, as he had to go high for the catch. Good job to hang on to that.
Walters, 34 grabs, 433 yards, and 2 touchdowns during the regular season. Critical part of this offense, especially in the run game. 3 tight ends, split backs. Here's the good to Redford, trying to squeeze it. It does, but only manages to get 1 before he's brought down by Gary D. Gone once again. Or Luther gone, rather.
Thank you.
Not Gary. 76 now.
Gary.
78. As we cross under 2 minutes to go, the crowd picks up a chain of defense. It's 3rd and 2 from the 35. Fort Worth jumped again. And oh, brother. Did Redford get lit up, but it won't matter.
They'll take that penalty and pocket the first down. Colin, that's the second maybe set of nerves by the Fort Worth D-line. I don't know. It's a playoff game. Everything's on the line.
That's gone again, his second infraction.
Oh, my gosh.
As we take a look at the early numbers for Redford. 8 carries, 45 yards, 5.6 yards a carry.
Well, the volatility of his performance is pretty high right now. He's got the only 2 flags of the game, and he's had some great individual effort and tackles.
4 wide receivers, 3 to the top. Brown going down the middle. Ooh, real dangerous. Delaney Nash knocked the pass that was intended for Chris Curtis out of the sky. It was 2nd and 10. Ball is marked at the Fort Worth 30 after the penalty. It'll be a 2nd down. There's a look at Curtis. 75 grabs, over 1,000 yards, 6 receiving touchdowns on 102 targets.
What can you tell us about Vancouver's kicker, Colin, while we're in close to the red zone?
Chance to win is the kicker. During the regular season, Mr. To Win was 31 of 32, so just about as automatic as they come. And during the wild card game last week was a perfect 3 for 3 with a long of 50, so he's got a big leg.
There you go. If they can't pick up this first down, we will see him.
3rd and 1. Ball is marked at the 21-yard line. Toro's trying to come up with another big stop. Initial blitz. No, they cross him up with the dive up the middle of Redford. And he gets him down to the 14-yard line for a first down as we're now under 40 seconds and counting.
Well, Vancouver's going to have a chance to draw first blood, and we'll remind everybody the Jack's data line is Fort Worth giving 4.5. The over-under set at 57.5. As we get down to the end of a pretty quick first quarter here, Colin.
Here's Redford again up the middle, spins and moves ahead to the 6. 2 yards short, and you see his numbers right now. On just 10 carries, they've been making sure to feed him. Christian Brown, 3 of 4, only 24 yards so far. Only 2 contracted receiving threats have been targeted as we reach the end. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on NLS. Welcome back to Fort Worth, Texas. The visiting Vancouver Legion are deep in the Fort Worth red zone, facing a 2nd and 2 to begin the second quarter. Robert Redford's been busy, and they go to him again on 2nd and 2, but he lost the yardage back to the 9. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Well, Redford's been pretty reliable so far. No harm in handing him the ball on that one. 3rd and 4, though, Colin. Need to pick up this first down if possible. Obviously, boy, there's the comment du jour.
83 total yards in that first quarter, only 35 for Fort Worth. As Brown throws a pass, it's caught by Curtis, who gets out of bounds at the 2. He picked up a first down, but he did not score.
I forgot to make that gratuitous comment guy comment. They could get a first down without scoring.
Well, that's one spot filled on your cliche bingo card. As it's 1st and goal from the 2, and they have the tight end flex out as they bring Killian in for a second wide receiver. Here's Redford on the carry. It stopped the line of scrimmage for no gain. We said that often. As look who brought him down.
Who?
Delaney Nash, but he wasn't the first guy to meet him in the hole. That was Mel Gibson, the defensive tackle. This is.
Here we go again with the heavy package, Colin, overloaded on the left side.
This is the 9th play to drive up the middle. No! They said he stopped at the goal line.
Are you kidding?
Luther gone again, brought him down short
That
before he could break the plane.
Oh, it totally looked like he broke the plane, but his knee must have been down before reaching there. Oh, I might challenge that. But here we go. 3 in the backfield.
They get to Redford. In fact, he lost yardage back to the 2.
Whoa, a heck of a goal line stand for Fort Worth Toros, ladies and gentlemen. And Vancouver can't believe their eyes.
Noah Ranger with the tackle for loss.
1st and goal from what, the 3? And Vancouver can't convert the touchdown. They'll try the field goal.
Chance to win. It's basically the length of an extra point. 18 yards is up and good. 8:47 to go in the first quarter. And it's 3-0. Vancouver in front. That was a 13-play drive. They'll only travel 34 yards and end up in 3 points.
Cue the sad trombone right there, and Fort Worth strike up the band, because that was a heck of a job to hold Vancouver to 3.
To win the kickoff to Charlie Baker. And here comes Charlie up the middle, make a nice juke, and he gets tackled at the 23.
Hey, the SFL convention is coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, July 28th through the 30th. For season 21 kickoff weekend. For room reservation details and the weekend schedule, see the hashtag Convention Alerts channel in the Discord server. Rooms are going fast, and some have already sold out. Reserve your special group rate today. We'll see you there. Colin and I have rooms. We will see you there.
1st and 10 at 23. Dunhill back to throw, fires. It's complete out to Acker. And that'll be about a 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Is that Hacker's number 1 catch? Or did he have one earlier?
He had one earlier. That's his 2nd.
All
and
right,
they really need to get him going.
And you know that because stats are.
Run by Greg Soto and Justin Reside. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And for the Toros, they just simply need to possess the ball. Rick, they held that They hardly had any chance to possess the ball in that opening stanza. And Bacon,
there we go.
Bacon over the 50 to the 40 to the 20, and all the way down to the Vancouver 17 goes J.Z. Bacon, a run of 51 yards.
Holy smokes, about 30, 35 yards downfield. He put it into overdrive. Let's see if we can see it here from the end zone view. Right there.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Right. Brought down on the play by Earl Fields IV, who had 8 total tackles in the wild card game a week ago. And just like that, the Toros are all the way down inside the Vancouver red zone. Pass out to the flat, complete to Stevens, picks up 5 to the 12. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Well, that's crazy. Fort Worth with that one play, and let's see if they go back to that run game. Everything just kind of clicked, or that run play, that everything just clicked for them on the blocking and against the wrong defensive call. If you're Vancouver, gash them for a big gain, puts them in a position to put some points on the board.
He's up to 62 yards on 5 carries. That's himself a first down here. It'll be 1st and goal up to 6. The clock continues to tick down, closer to 7 minutes. It'll be 1st and goal from the 6-yard line.
Don't forget, the Rick Meter is here in town. The Rick Meter will give you an indication as to what their expert staff, who the expert staff of the Rick Meter believes will be winning this game. It's at neutral right now.
Dunhill fires, complete touchdown! Woo. Touchdown to Cade Stevens, who, that was just about as easy as it can come by, just running a little spot route, and he easily beat his man.
You know, in one of those moments where you go, oh, duh, we just watched Vancouver on the goal line call a bunch of running plays that were unsuccessful, and here goes Fort Worth from the 6. Just throws it in a little sprint out.
That was a 6-yard touchdown pass, culminating a 5-play, 76-yard drive. Most of it was chewed up by the 2 runs by Bacon, totaling 57 of those yards. As the extra point by Amelia Rose is up and good, and we have a lead change, 7-3. Toros in front now with 7:05 to go in the second quarter.
Second quarter, yeah, and you know, in addition to a lead change, this is a part of the game where we like to ask a question.
What the heck's going on with the Rick Meter?
Yeah, well, glad you asked. They're knocking at the door, and they're coming out with a lean Fort Worth. Rick Meter was waiting for Fort Worth to score, and they've scored with a touchdown, and Fort Worth is, of course, favored. And there's a little running around the yard play.
Justice Blackwell, he nearly pulled, it looked like for about half a second there, he was going to pull a Jim Marshall and start running the wrong way. He's tackled at the 19, and his team is now down by 4. They got 3 points on their last drive, Rick, but they're probably kicking themselves because it should have been 7.
Yeah, they should. Well, Fort Worth had a terrific goal line stand and held Vancouver out of the end zone.
Brown back to throw. Oh, he nearly threw an interception. That was deflected away by Ben Stone, the free safety. And as far as the interceptors for the Toros go, Adam Leach is there's a 3-way tie for 9 during the regular season, and Ben Stone was one of those. They have a pair of linebackers with 3 combined total between them.
Well, it's 2nd and 10 from the Vancouver 19. A little bit of a criticality to the game right now for Vancouver.
Brown swings it out to Redford. Redford trying to make something happen, only nets himself 2 yards to the 21. Sets up a 3rd and 8. And Rick, this is a critical juncture point here in the ball.
It's a little bit of an early hinge, and with 6:33 to go in the second quarter, but Vancouver needs to keep possession of the ball, which means picking up a 3rd and 8 and a deep pass.
Down the middle. Ooh, it looked like it was going to be hauled in by the Saskatchewan legend himself, Brett Killian, number 12. But Adam Leach had other ideas.
The Saskatchewan legend. Is he from Saskatoon?
It's a little bit south of Saskatoon as far as the song goes. Leach knocked that down, and all of a sudden, Rick, this game is turned on its head as Patrick is out for his 2nd punt.
Well. Fort Worth is feeling pretty good about themselves right now. Forcing a punt, and they, Colin, may be getting good field position out of this. we'll see what transpires here.
Patrick standing at his own 5, punts away. Hang time is just a shade over 4 seconds, and the Toros will be starting from their own 43.
Good coverage by Vancouver, as good as can be expected. Pulls them to what, a 1-yard gain, maybe basically catch and tackle right there. So the Vancouver defensive stand starts right now.
1st and 10 from 43. 3 wide receivers.
Yeah.
Under
Look at that.
center.
There's a pick.
Almost an interception on the play. Zach Lay almost had the football, but his hands unfortunately had other ideas.
That would have been just what the doctor, the Canadian doctor, Canadian health system ordered. There you go. Hey, this summer you can play the SFL video game on the go on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, an emulator for 4K 2.3 in the palm of your hand. Pre-order your Retroid today at GoRetroid.com. Search SFL or through the all-new league website at simulationfl.net.
Throw down the middle. Oh, knocked away. Josh Farnsey, the middle linebacker, knocked away a pass that was sure looking like Steven Acker was going to grab. And just like that, Rick, it's 3rd and 10. It's deja vu all over again.
Yeah, well, the defenses are sparking up here again. And we've had 2 scores both ways, and 1 field goal, 1 touchdown. Empty back.
Empty back. Oh, they go underneath the Baker. He has a long way to go, and he cannot get there. Got 6 when he needed 10.
Well, Dunhill knows better, and maybe that was just his last best option to throw short of the sticks, Colin. What say you?
Tackle made by Michael Lister.
You're avoiding my question.
And I sort of question the decision there by Dunhill, but I suppose it's better than turning the ball over.
Yeah, like I said, that may have been his only available option based on the coverage by Vancouver.
Return by Blackwell, breaks a couple of tackles, gets up to the 23 as a result of some nifty footwork, and the Legion will start possession from there.
Mr. Blackwell is always in fashion. Well, let's see if they keep trying to feature Robert Redford, who's started to get bottled up here by the Toro defense, Colin.
Or do they elect to go with Brown? They throw out to Redford, so they're still featuring Robert in some way, and the natural picks up 6 yards pretty easily.
Well, he that's funny. You've got to, it's a playoff game, right? It's all on the line. You've got to have your stars be stars, and you typically need a contribution from an unexpected player to prevail. And this is so far a tight one.
Here's the throw out to Curtis. He has the first down to the 36, or he's knocked out of bounds there by, I believe that was Davis.
Yeah, he may have caught him by surprise with that route as he puts his foot in the ground and digs. I think all 3 of those defenders were expecting him to go a little deeper.
There's a look at Curtis, number 84. Split backs 3 wide. Brown, down he goes. It's sack time on the play. Luther gone, brings him down, and this guy's been busy. That's his 5th tackle, but 1st sack and 2nd TFL.
Wow.
Loss of 3 back to the 34. Set up a 2nd and 13. 3 wide and a tight end out for Vancouver as Brown lines up next. Has Redford next to him in the shotgun. He's back to throw. Fires. Ooh. He released the ball, and Aiden Davis knocked that down. It'll be 3rd and 13.
I think that hit, Colin, just foiled his or fouled his attempt just enough so that ball was not where he wanted it to be.
For Luther gone, that who had 8.5 sacks in the regular season, picks up another one here in the postseason. Here's Brown down the middle, Killian. Ooh, they say he's just a hair short, missed it by that much.
Oh my gosh.
And the guy who had 117 yards on 9 receptions a week ago and caught one of the touchdown passes came up just a penny short.
Wow, and I thought we might get another look at that from the boys in the truck. We don't. Might have been challengeable.
Punt by Patrick is away.
The challengeability was high on that play, in my opinion.
Baker will get stopped at the 18. As we get a look at the updated numbers, Toros seemingly taking control now, 117 total yards.
But they're fairly even. Look at that.
108 for
Yeah.
Vancouver.
Yeah, well, and the score reflects it, right? One scoring drive for each.
Average yards per play for Fort Worth, 5.6. For Vancouver, 3.3. Here's to get to Baker. Hesitate. Now is brought down by 2 people at the 21. Pick up a 4.
Coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report, Cameron Irvine and Tyler Falk and his Hat Game are back at SFL Studios to discuss the first half between Fort Worth and Vancouver. Preview tonight's quarterfinal showdown in Phoenix between Arizona and Carolina, plus some of the updates around the league on Season 21, team stadiums and uniforms. It's all coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report.
Oh, very exciting stuff. Particularly, there's been quite a few teases by a number of teams in the new game as far as stadiums go.
A lot happening with coming up in the next season. A lot of changes. Make sure you stay on top of it at simulationfl.net.
Hacker on the reception there. Sets up a 3rd and 4. They come out with 2 wide receivers to the bottom of your picture. They line up in a far formation, it would appear, as Dunhill fires out to Pitkin, makes 2 spin moves. Ooh! He didn't get the first down, but he sure looked like he was ahead of the mark to me as he's brought down at the 27.
It's got to be the 3rd or 4th and inches that, man, if they'd have marked him, if they'd have given him a first down, I don't know that there'd be much of an argument. Plus that scoring play that wasn't a scoring play on the Fort Worth goal line stand.
Got to keep your eyes out for fake in this situation, but they don't run. And the punt's nearly blocked as it's away, and Blackwell will call a fair catch. We reached it. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music here on NLSU. Welcome back to the Stockyards here in Fort Worth, Texas. Vancouver Legion trying to make something happen, down by 4 in a tight 7-3 contest as Robert Redford stopped behind the line for a loss of 1, coming out of the 2-minute warning.
Redford, who was running with abandon in the first quarter, has been bottled up pretty good by the Toro defense, Colin. And this game just seems to be getting tighter and tighter.
Second and 11, they line up in the 3-back set again. Not a place where you want to be, but Redford trying to make something. First down, it's up over the 40 to the 31-yard line before Delaney Nash brings him down. And just like that, in one strike, they're in Fort Worth territory.
Well, Vancouver keeps going with their ace, knowing at some point he's liable to break one, and they get it.
Now they go quickly. Here's the throw out to Redford on a screen pass. Had to get out of bounds and does with exactly 1 minute remaining in the first half.
Vancouver trying to take advantage of that Robert Redford run, get themselves in a position to put some more points on the board. Ideally, they'd like to put a touchdown up and take the lead here before halftime, Colin.
This game has been a nip and tuck affair. It's at point felt like a tight brand new pair of shoes on a rainy day, to quote Red Barber.
Right.
As the throw down the middle. Oh, it's intercepted.
Are you kidding?
What?
Huh?
It's picked off on a play by Remington James.
Did he steal it from him?
He jumped at the same time Curtis did. What's this?
Oh, he one-hands it. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
It was thrown a little out in front, and he one-hands it to kill the drive.
That might be the play of the game right there.
Well, certainly the play of the first half.
Yeah, play the first half indeed. Looking forward. They're coming out 5 wide. This is possibly going for the big play down the middle. They do. And a man wide open down there. As they call time with 52 seconds left is, I believe that to be, yes, Kate Stevens on the reception.
Wow, clutch play, and Fort Worth not content to kneel this thing into halftime, Colin.
Mark Lopez made sure to touch him down as he was diving for the football. Biggest pass completion of the half for Dunhill is now up to 76 yards.
And Fort Worth still has 2 timeouts. Just under a minute to go. And maybe that was the play of the first half.
That was a 26-yard pass play to Stevens. Here's another pass play. This one to Acker, who's tackled inbounds, picks up 5.
Can't quite get himself out of bounds there. See if they go long again.
2nd and 5. They go over the middle.
Ooh.
Nice deflection made by the linebacker. That was Marquise Reed, a former defensive back who's been playing linebacker for a couple years now, showing off his DB skills.
Yeah, exactly. Some football IQ there as he puts himself in the throwing lane. He understands what Vancouver was trying to do and makes a play there. Brings up 3rd and 5.
As the Toros will line up with an empty backfield, Dunhill under center. First time we've seen this look today.
All streaks.
Oh, they run slants middle. Ooh, that could have been real dangerous. Earl Fields the 4th. Sounds very official and proper. Knocks that away as Einhorn will be on the punt with 33 seconds left.
Wow, and just like that, the Fort Worth threat is snuffed out by Vancouver. Combination of good defensive play and maybe questionable calls by Fort Worth. That's probably better Vancouver deep play, I would say there.
That is a pretty good play by the defense. I'll give it to the people wearing white shirts with white helmets on that. Fair catch called by Blackwell at the 20.
Well, this game has moved along lickety-split in the last 2 minutes here. The quarter has been very interesting and slowed down the progress.
Redford up to 87 yards and 16 carries. Remember, he started off really hot. He had 59 yards on about his first 10 carries. So you do the figuring since then. Apart from the one big run he had on 2nd and 11, he's been held in check. This pass complete out to Chris Curtis. He's tackled at the 32, and the Legion elect to hurry up.
Yeah, they could have taken a timeout here.
Well, they do have 2 remaining.
They're just running their standard offense. A little bit of practice right here before halftime, apparently, Colin.
They do get out of bounds with 7 seconds left on the pass reception to Killian. That is going to be grab number 2 for Brett on 4 targets. He has 20 yards. Blackwell has 1 target but no receptions. Hunter Huxley has been not targeted at all on the stat sheet.
Oh, man. Well, here's your Hail Mary from the 40 with 7 seconds to go.
Let's see if they can get Brown enough time. Has to duck out of one. They can't duck out of the second, but they do have that timeout in the back pocket, which they use with. There's 3 seconds.
This is now not a lickety-split game, and stick with me for more old-timey expressions like that.
And head coach Andy Hamilton, you can just.
Oh, look at those eyes. He's not. That's scary.
He's not a happy camper. Sack was made on the play by Luther Gond again, his 2nd sack of the ball game. And this time they come out with 4 wide out of a standard shotgun formation for 3rd and 9. And Brown down the middle, tipped and incomplete. E.K. Benson on the deflection. We reach halftime and score. It's 7-3 Fort Worth in front as we take another look at Vincent on the deflection. Pass intended for Clements, the 4th wide receiver.
Yeah, if you deflect it with your helmet, is that still a deflection? Let's see.
Oh, he reached up.
Oh,
there
no,
with his
yeah.
hands.
Almost got it.
He reached halftime. You're watching Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on NLSC.
Welcome to the APM Music Halftime Report along with Tyler Falk. I'm Cameron Irvine here at the not temporary but new home of the SFL studios, just 2 days fresh. And we are at halftime here where Fort Worth leads Vancouver 7-3 this was not the first half we were looking for in this first quarterfinal of the weekend.
I mean, for the longest time, Cam, Christian Brown only had maybe 2 passes where Robert Redford had the majority of the touches, and most of them were on the ground. It was a 1-to-4 ratio for Robert Redford to Christian Brown as far as availability, as far as productivity, and it's really been a slugfest. I mean, sometimes for the longest time, one might call it a game of checkers, a game of chess, but this is like a game of backgammon crossed with 3D chess, crossed with Yahtzee. I mean, it's just a whole lot of meh at the moment. That's the best way we can describe it, and that's credit to these defenses. We've had at least 10 different players get a touch on defense of the football, and only one of them has been an interception. A huge credit to the defensive productivity and the defensive coverage here in Fort Worth.
And that was Remington James with the biggest play of the first half, that interception. That really kind of was the difference, along with Bacon's 51-yard run. Redford had a nice first half, but they have struggled to get productivity down the field. 12 yards, the longest pass for Vancouver in the first half. Really surprising.
Especially when you expect a Vancouver side coached by Andy Hamilton, one of the greatest coaches that we've seen here in the SFL, really come out strong with a passing game in the first half, but maybe they're taking keys from their win over Indianapolis last week, where Redford was really productive on the ground game, and they're trying to maybe rely on him again here against Fort Worth. And as we know, Fort Worth's defense is pretty solid against the run game. Has really neutralized the outside runs in particular.
Yeah, it's been an offensive struggle, and we'll see what these two teams come out with in the second half. The good news for both teams is they're not turning the ball over, just the one turnover. Great play made by Remington James, and that was the difference in the first half. Let's get an update on the bracket. Let's look at the top of the bracket here. Vancouver and Fort Worth playing now. Carolina and Arizona playing next. Vancouver still has the opportunity to host the semifinal if Carolina and the Legion win tonight. That would be a big semifinal matchup. Both teams sort of ushering in, the best seasons in franchise history if they were to pull that off. Fort Worth still has a chance to host if they win and Carolina wins. Otherwise, Arizona will be hosting the semifinal at the top of the bracket. We have Carolina and Arizona coming up later tonight, and we're super excited about that matchup and all the potential that it has as Carolina goes back to Arizona, where they lost a heartbreaker about a month ago.
Absolutely. That cheesy pizza had to come in relief for Matt South late on in that football game when they played earlier this season. And back to your point about Vancouver and Carolina having maybe a resurgence or a renaissance, especially Carolina getting their first playoff win in franchise history. One of the oldest franchises in the league, dating all the way back to season 1. They play another season 1 franchise, the Arizona Scorpions. Back then, the two names were known as the Kalaya Wyverns and the Oklahoma City Renegades. So a very historical, significant matchup coming up in terms of a lengthy matchup history, 15 games in total, and it's another chapter being written for the two sides. Can Carolina, maybe with a healthy side, they've had, if in ins and outs, they've had McBride go down, they've had South go down in different games. With those two healthy, can they take down an Eddie Gage-led Arizona Scorpions team, which has prepared well in the build-up for this game? We were able to sit down with Eddie and talk over what he's going to try and do for Carolina, what is his game plan, and it's going to be fun to watch later tonight.
Yeah, Fatality Field will be rocking. They've got the lights out uniforms on tonight with the glow in the dark numbers to honor their namesake. So it's going to be really fun atmosphere in Phoenix, and that's coming up at 9 p.m. tonight on SFL YouTube. Fort Worth leads Vancouver 7-3 right now here on your Saturday showcase game on NLSC. Let's take a look at the bottom of the bracket that comes your way tomorrow. That is starting off with London and Baltimore in the 6-4 matchup after Alamo City pulled the big upset. Baltimore gets London instead of Minnesota, and the Artillery instead go to Atlanta to take on those top-seeded Atlanta Swarm. This bracket a little bit more familiar with championship pedigrees and success in getting there, but both of these favorites have some pretty heavy challenges coming up tomorrow.
Absolutely. Baltimore playing London. That's an old divisional matchup from a season or two ago before our latest expansion into Seattle, Minnesota, Indianapolis. and one other. And then we've got Alamo City and Atlanta. Atlanta, strongest team by far, not just on paper but on the field. They look ready to go. They look like the best team out there, and that's what you expect from a number 1 seed. Alamo City have already proven, sad Minnesota legend noises, that they can come into opposing territory and take down quality opponents with authority. 20-3 victory over Minnesota last week. They're going to have to do the exact same thing versus Atlanta in even more hostile territory. Atlanta lost to Minnesota. That's their only blemish on their record in the cold snow in St. Paul. So what's it going to be like in the Hive late tomorrow evening? That'll be fun to watch.
Nobody is more excited for Minnesota losing than the Atlanta Swarm after that 28-point blowout that they suffered earlier this season. That was on Next Level Sports as well.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see them once again. It'd be fun to see what Atlanta does after another week of preparation. Same thing for Baltimore, an extra chance to maybe put in 1 or 2 extra plays that you saw in the wild card round from their opponents to maybe give them the edge here in the quarterfinals.
Coming up at halftime of the Arizona-Carolina game tonight, we will have the unveiling of the 2023 Hall of Fame class that will be inducted into the SFL Hall of Fame in Cincinnati in the 2023 convention. A lot of big names on the ballot this season, and we're certainly excited to announce that. We will be calling that game together on the SFL YouTube coming up. Any thoughts leading up into the big moment?
Well, there's a lot of good names, and it was such a tough decision to pick and choose every single nominee. Every one of those, all 7 of those, great people in and out of the league. Some names on there have already been etched into SFL lore just because of who they are and what they mean to each and every member of this community. So it's just an honor for some that's been coming for quite a long time. I'm really excited to be the first person to have known who these people are, but to let everybody else know who these people are, who have made such a commitment, such a dedication, such an impact here in the SFL.
Pays to be an SFL HQ sometimes.
Just a little bit.
The league put together the finalist bracket. The owners voted for their favorites to make the Hall, and we'll find out who made it later tonight on the halftime of the Carolina and Arizona game coming up later. Fort Worth 7, Vancouver 3 from the Stockyards. A surprising defensive first half. If you took the under, you're loving this early action. 7-3 Fort Worth. We'll be back after this. Thanks for watching the APM Music Halftime Report from our brand new digs. We'll get some stuff on the wall coming up. We'll be right back after this.
Just about to get things underway here in the second half of play here from the Stockyards in Fort Worth, Texas. Hometown Toros lead 7-3 in a surprisingly defensive struggle.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a chess game inside a backgammon game, inside a, I'm not sure what Tyler Falk described it as, but it seemed right to me.
Justice Blackwell on the return will pick up yardage to the 22, and the Legion, they got a field goal on when they were stopped back at the 3-yard line. But ever since then, Rick, they've been in a bit of an offensive funk.
That's right, and Fort Worth was able to come back with a touchdown from about 7 yards out. Vancouver had a 1st and goal from the 3, got 3 points out of it, and that's where we sit. There was one pick, maybe the play of the first half, play of the game so far with Remington Steele. No, who was that?
Remington James.
Remington James, thank you very much.
As Redford lost a yard on his first carry of the second half, back to the 21. It'll be 2nd and 11, whereas we're just underway. Bunches up to the top. Walters by himself to the bottom of the formation. Back to throw, and Walters on the reception, gets upfield and gets to the 30. Well, it'll be 3rd and 2. Aiden Davis brings him down on the tackle.
And it's been, as you said, tough sledding for Vancouver when this fairly pedestrian offensive play looks really good to me for Vancouver. So, we saw Coach Hamilton with his angry eyes on the sideline in the end of the second quarter, and I bet the team got a lot of angry eyes in the locker room at halftime, Colin.
Brown down the middle, tipped in, incomplete, looking for Curtis. And
number 30 there.
That's Aiden Davis.
Aiden Davis should have probably had a pick, but emphatically goes into the incomplete gesturing like nothing happened with that, and it's 4th and 2. Continuing the reset, the Rick meters here. The Rick meter ended the half at lean Fort Worth. The over-under is 57.5, and the unders are liking things so far. And Fort Worth's giving 4.5.
Fair catch called for by Baker at the 37, and the Toros will start. They're up by 4.
Colin, you got maybe some first half stats from the Stars for each team just to compare here.
J.Z. Bacon, 71 yards on 7 carries, along with 1 catch for 2 yards. Marcus Dunhill, 86 yards on 11 of 18 and a touchdown.
Not bad.
The receiver, Cade Stevens, 4 grabs, 43 yards. And that's another reception for Stevens as he picks up about 12 to the 48-yard line. It'll be a 1st down.
One of the other hallmarks of the first half, Colin, was a plethora of just short of the line to gain or the goal line plays. We didn't get one review out of any of those, and several of them looked like they were maybe missed calls or certainly reviewable. But it killed a number of drives.
Trips to the bottom. Dunhill fires. He got Hacker. And Hacker running free down the sideline. Will get tackled at the 12 by number 41. Zach Lay was the man who missed him initially.
Yeah, Zach maybe was a little bit out of position. We'll get another look at it here.
Just running a corner out 101. It's late.
Yeah. That ball's actually thrown a little behind. And Lay doesn't pick it up early enough.
But he's still able to make the tackle. Otherwise, that could have been 6 points.
Yeah, as it is, they are at the 12.
That's a lot of yards to you and me. There's a 12. That is a 52-yard gain. As Bacon up the middle, touchdown. Untouched until he crosses the goal line.
Making bacon. I smell bacon. Wow.
And it's now 13-3 as Bacon strikes in a big way.
What's that, like the 4th play, 5th play of the drive? I don't know. You'll tell us here in a minute, but just like that. Amazingly, Vancouver goes 3 and out. Fort Worth goes down and sticks it in the end zone. And we had talked during the break, Colin, that maybe this is the kind of game that is very tight in the first half and maybe gets broken open in the second half, and here we go.
That was 3 plays, 76 yards. And with 8:45 to go here in the third quarter, it's already 14-3 Fort Worth in front.
Wow. Hey, well, the SFL playoffs quarterfinal weekend continues tonight on the SFL YouTube channel. Arizona welcomes back Carolina. Sweet Carolina, hot off the franchise's first win with quarterback Matt South, seeking revenge on the team who put him on the sidelines earlier this season. Kickoff is slated for 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West. Don't miss a moment tonight right here on YouTube. And we learned that the Hall of Fame class will be, the Hall of Fame reveal will be, we're going to find out who got elected to the Hall of Fame at halftime of that game. There you go. Talker better, gooder.
Well, at least he got it out. It's first and 10 at the 22. Christian Brown trying to get things going for an offense ever since their scoring drive. Felt like they've been stuck in the mud.
Well, I'm sure it was painful for the viewers and the listeners. It was painful for me. But here's a pass.
Brown down the middle. Catch made by Killian. And that's a good way to start his third grab for the native of Saskatchewan.
There
Alberta.
we go. Exactly. And, now down by 11, Colin, Vancouver's got to start just taking chances. Calculated risks, right?
Right, calculated indeed.
But they're down by 2 scores. So they got to outplay Fort Worth, and the Rick Meter staff is knowingly sipping their Mountain Dew at this point.
Sawyer Stern, the fullback, he had the first carry of the ball game. He catches this pass out of backfield, picks up 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7 at the 40.
They go to Robert Redford again here, Colin, or are they going to keep throwing it downfield?
Looks like they brought 2 extra tight ends on the field. They get the Redford, and other than a couple plays early, this hasn't really worked, this particular formation.
Me and the Toros knew that all the way.
Noah Ragier on the tackle.
We got to keep banging that drum, but they also are going to need some chunk plays here.
I thought there was a song that talked about the goodness of banging on the drum.
Make the drum all day. I believe that's Todd Rundgren.
We got 5 wide receivers, trips to the top. Brown deep down the field. Ooh, tipped away as the pass was underthrown. Killian was behind the coverage, but Brown just simply underthrew the football.
They say Todd Rundgren sort of dropped out of pop music because he became so disillusioned with it. Well, why did he become disillusioned? He was writing hit songs so easily that he thought were terrible that he felt he needed to step away. How about that? And here's a punt.
Baker on the return up the middle, gets to the 33-yard line. And what's this? I've just been handed this note. But it's all gibberish to me. So.
Yeah, well, where's it from?
It's from the Rick Meter staff.
The Rick Meter staff. Well, the Rick Meter staff is still leaning Fort Worth. I think we thought you were going to get a change in the read, but not yet. Also, for those of you that had a Todd Rundgren reference on your bingo card tonight, congratulations. You picked that one up. Uh-oh.
Here's Dunhill, gives to Bacon. Bacon almost broke open to the other side. Tackled at the 41, pickup of 8 yards.
Yeah, Bacon reprising his touchdown run from just a couple of minutes ago.
2nd and 2, and you can tell this defense, they got to try to hold back, but it feels like they've been carrying the majority of the way in this ball game.
Yeah, they have. Well, the Vancouver offense is not.
Bacon picks up 1. You see the yardage total there.
Yeah, I mean, the Vancouver offense is not holding up their end of the bargain What's Vancouver typically give up? What's their season average for points allowed? If you don't mind me asking, while he's looking that up, we can see now that Fort Worth has started to bust out on the statistical
Third
numbers.
one, and the pass complete to Stevens for the first down to the 44. He gave up just over 20.8 points per game. And Fort Worth scores 33.4
Wow.
in the regular season.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be out of the question for Fort Worth to pick up, 2 more scores, get them into 28, and Vancouver offense, other than that one lone field goal in the first quarter, has not shown much.
Bacon now, I think he's starting to get tired, only picks up a yard. Farnsey on the tackle.
Too much success.
That'll be second. Not.
How can you have too much bacon? Just asking. Have you had bacon? So 2nd and 9, advantage Vancouver D here. They got only 3 down linemen. Will they back into coverage here?
Here's to get the bacon up the middle. Oh, he almost broke it open. And look, it's our old friend, Mr. Inches.
He jumps up again. I thought we would maybe left him in the locker room, but here we go again. On our own.
Because Lister brought him down just short. Ball's on the 34. We've seen this backfire before on the visitors from Canada.
They placed the ball right on the line to gain.
Bacon. No!
He gets,
In fact, he didn't gain anything, they said.
he got knocked down. He might have lost.
Tackled by Marquise Reed.
Oh, there's your defensive play again, Vancouver. Nice job.
And looks like they're going to bring out the field goal kicker, Amelia Rose.
Yeah. What do we know about the Rose? Rose is the Rose?
Miss Rose, in terms of, she's 17 of 18 of the year. This is a pretty long one.
51 and a half.
He gets a boot
Wow.
into it, and it's good. Now
Nice.
17 to 3 with 4:09 to go in the third.
Get another look at it here.
Ooh.
Skids across the crossbar, and it's good.
You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music here on NLSC. It's the quarterfinal play. Welcome back to Fort Worth. Toros tacked on another 3 points courtesy at the foot of Amelia Rose.
And that makes it a full 2 touchdown score differential now. Advantage Toros. Vancouver's got to pick this thing up, Colin. What have you noticed about Vancouver?
Well, Luther Gaunt, he's been putting in the work. He leads his team from his defensive line position with 6 tackles.
Wow. That's part of Vancouver's problem.
6 tackles.
Six tackles. Right.
Like that guy in Elf who wants the ribbon 6 inches.
6 inches. That's right. Well, Mr. Inches.
Oh, there it is again. As Redford up the middle explodes, and this time he picks up 11 yards. Man, that guy was running like he was shot out of a cannon.
Well, they've got a Vancouver needs to pick it up. I mean, we've only mentioned that like 52 times.
Our longest pass has been 13 yards, Rick.
Ouch. 13, unlucky 13. Let's try and break that, shall we, Vancouver?
Derek, nice, the guard. They're trying to get a block at the very end.
Right, now I know, Fort Worth really has Vancouver right where they want them. They need to throw down the field. And guess what Fort Worth has, Colin? I think the league-leading secondary in terms of picks.
Number 1 in terms of total interceptions as a group. Killian finds a hole in the defense.
He burns them.
To the 39-yard line, and the moose is loose.
And just a really great throw. It arrives on time just before he goes out of bounds. No chance for the defender.
Perfectly run corner route, too.
Deep corner. Deep corner.
Here's the gift to Redford. Spins and picks up 5.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Redford juice. And you know what's interesting about that, Colin, is everybody knew Redford was going to get the ball on that. And he still picked up 5. Another good sign for Vancouver. Maybe this will give him a little shot in the arm.
2nd and 5. Ball in the Fort Worth 33. As you said, 2 touchdowns here as Redford is now up over 100 yards on 20 carries of the rock. He's at 102. Brown back to throw, fires out. Chris Curtis again.
He gets mauled.
The 26 is, you look at the numbers for Brown, he's 15 of 23. Does have the 1 interception, but
don't look now, but is this the 3rd first down for Vancouver on this possession?
Yeah, they're just bringing them together. Pump, here's the screen out to Redford. Redford only gets 2, as it took them a minute to set up the screen, and by the time everything was ready, the defense was there to rally to the football.
The 2nd and 8 as we're getting close to the end of the 3rd quarter, Colin.
Standard split back formation. Spread 3 wide receivers, 2 to the top of your picture, 1 to the bottom. I believe that's Blackwell. Brown back to throw. Brown looking for Blackwell.
Oh,
and every time Blackwell had to turn into the defender as Delaney Nash almost grabbed that one.
Blackwell giving the old shoulder shimmy there like he caught it. Like he made a big
And for some reason the camera focuses on a linebacker wasn't even in the play. What's going on here? It was number 41, Delaney Nash, who knocked away the pass, but yet the cameraman decides to go with
well, the director calls that, right?
Yeah.
Give us the wrong camera shot.
5 wide receivers, trips to the top of the screen. Brown.
Drag route under.
Changes the play at the line of scrimmage. He's back to throw. Ooh, out right to Curtis. It's going to be another 3 points.
Oh, painful.
They need 7. 7.
Oh gosh. Go Gersh golly. Will you go for it here? I mean, okay, you can. 9, I suppose. Then that's a, touchdown and 2-point conversion. Okay, I can see it.
It's a chance to win. He made 3 field goals last week. This is attempt number 2. 37 yards is good, and while Christian Brown is contemplating on the bench whether or not he became Kirk Cousins, he became infamous for that check down when the game was in the balance. As the Legion are now on the board with their second field goal, they're up 17-6.
Thank you for that arcane illustration of what just happened there with Chris Brown. Hey, why are you giving me the fish shake here? So they do. Sorry.
37 yards on an 8-play, 54-yard drive that took 2 minutes and 56 seconds off the clock.
So they get their second score to go to 6. And my apologies, it's not a one touchdown lead. I thought they're going to 9. I guess they'd already changed the score when I glanced up. So there you go. Still a long putt for the Vancouver Legion. And they're going to rely on their defense here. They cannot let Fort Worth put any more points the rest of the way, Colin, in my opinion. What say you?
They can't not afford to give up any more points, even 3 points, and this becomes just a little bit impossible.
Right.
Let alone they give up 6 more.
They can't get into a track meet. They've got to pitch a shutout here.
Lister knocks that away. Pass intended for Hacker. That's his 9th target. He's grabbed 5 of them today. It'll be second down and 10. Clock stopped with exactly 1 minute remaining in this quarter. Well, this has certainly been moving a lot slower than the first couple quarters went.
Well, except for the last 2 minutes, right? That slowed things down. But Vancouver wants this to be slow because they need a few possessions.
Bacon picks up 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 5. Zach Lay on the tackle.
I'm Rick Northrup. Colin Northrup's on your play-by-play commentary. The Rick meter is here right now, leaning Fort Worth, and Denver the Service Dog is with us as well down in Texas, where we say things like, all y'all.
Dunhill back to throw, fires down the field. Oh, tipped in here.
Oh, my God.
It's caught. It's caught on the play by one of the linebackers out there for Vancouver. Number 55, Marquise Reed, tipped it initially. Another guy tipped it, and then Reed eventually came back to the ball. Watch this. Tips it, tipped, and then tipped right into the hands.
Back into him, yeah. That was classic. Well, this is just the kind of excitement you can expect from an SFL playoff game. Well, Vancouver now, glad they at least took their points at 6 with the ball inside the 30 on the plus side of the field, Colin.
And Dunhill, who's been incredibly efficient, 14 of 23 now, has thrown the one interception, and Vancouver almost throws it right back. Ben Stone was looking to muck things up, and we almost had back-to-back turnovers.
Yeah,
back-to-back plays.
Vancouver still mining the short yardage plays. They got, in my opinion, they got to be more mindful of the situation and start calling some different plays. But look at this, little near bunch.
Brown again. They go to out to Killian. Picks up 5, almost like he'd be. Final play the 3rd. Some John back and forth between Killian and Davis. We've reached the 4th quarter, folks. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by AT Music on NLC. It's playoff football.
Presentation of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Welcome to the start of fourth quarter here in Fort Worth, Texas, as the Vancouver Legion look to take advantage of an unexpected turnover by the hometown Fort Worth Toros. Christian Brown facing a 3rd and 5 from his Fort Worth 22-yard line. 3-step drop, throws it up to Redford, has to make something happen, he cannot. Tackled at the 19.
And the SFL is brought to you in part by APM Music. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection. State-of-the-art technology and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com.
Chance to win on to kick his 3rd field goal of the ball game to make this a 17-9 affair, and the field goal from 35 is up and good. So with 10:22 to go in the final quarter, it is now 17-9.
Yeah, you know what that makes it, Colin? Finally, the comment I made earlier, it is a one-score game. Touchdown, 2-point conversion, but still a one-score game. So what you're saying, Vancouver, is there's a chance. Absolutely.
And look at the yardage. It's pretty close, but Toros definitely have the advantage, especially in the passing department. They're 5 of 15 on 3rd down is Vancouver, but Fort Worth has only 2 of 9.
Wow. And what's the prescription here, Collins? Fort Worth, is it too early for them to start working the clock?
Well, I think they just need to continue doing what they're doing, but...
or do they step on the gas to try and get it back to a 2-possession game?
I mean, you look at the average yards per carry for Bacon. He's 14 carries, the average 17.6 yards a carry. Why not keep going to him?
Right. And maybe he's not tired.
And you've been gashing this really good run defense. Although Bacon will only pick up 1 on that play. It'll be 2nd and 9. Reed among the defenders there to bring him down. The guy who had the interception then the last Toro drive.
Yeah, Bacon making bank on his 51-yard run, which really brings his per carry average up. But it shows you what they can do if they get the blocking scheme right. Called against the wrong defense. They're going to throw from the shotgun.
They're going to slants over the middle. Perfect catch made on the play by Charlie Baker, number 83.
Don't see a lot of Dunhill in the shotgun.
And more of an under center 3-back team. They like to include the fullback as much as possible. And for Baker, that's his 2nd reception. He
sure hands there, and it was in traffic, and Dunhill pops that thing right through the open window.
Picks up 15 yards on that reception. Bacon gets the carry through the middle, only gets 1.
Looks like Vancouver would prefer to take their chances with against Dunhill's arm. So they seem to be selling out for the run here. At least in this possession.
Legion team during the regular season only gave up 65 rushing yards allowed per game. They've already allowed 108, so they're playing well below their standard. But I think it's more a testament to Fort Worth.
Yeah, on that 51-yard run. Yeah, really.
The throw over the middle, Hacker dove, but he could not come up with the ball.
Hacker, my man.
And it comes up with a 3rd and 9 as a result. Ball is on the Fort Worth 40-yard line.
They've been difficult situations, Colin, but not used to seeing Stephen Hacker drop so many balls. You?
I'm not used to that either. This is a guy who you can pretty much rely on to make the easy catches.
Make the catches. Yeah, he's been a stalwart. He's a reliable lever for the offense. Look at this.
Dunhill down the field, catch made for the 1st down. That's Charlie Baker again to the Legion 42. And what a time for Baker to come up with catch number 3 on 3rd down.
Charlie Baker called his name and number a lot, and there's why. Sure hand, it's not Stephen Hacker's day, but it's Charlie Baker's day so far.
There's Hacker, 5 catches on 12 targets for 74 yards.
That gets Fort Worth onto the plus side of the field, too.
And Baker's 3 catches for 35 yards now. That pass is dropped by the Cowboy Robert Garrett Jr. He has to be frustrated.
Yeah, they've had some success with that. They got 3 wide, and everybody kind of stutter steps and tries to throw a move on, and designed to go right about the line of gain. And,
slant and you throw it into heavy traffic, but the problem is if it's heavy zone, guys are going to be there. Tip balls are generally bad news for the offense. Garrett Jr. that time holds on. Tackled at the 31, just the end of the sticks, first down.
He gave his life for the first down, but he's up. He's up, everybody. And that time he caught, even though he was moving backwards, he possessed the ball beyond the line of gain, so they give him the first down.
Now they go 5 wide again. Trips to the top of the screen.
Just a reset here. The Rick meter is still leaning Fort Worth.
Fullerton. John Fullerton was out there. Cade Stevens picks up 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 as he goes falling out of bounds. Stopping the clock with 7:37 to go.
Hey, don't leave the broadcast without joining our Discord server. There's so much more to do in the SFL than just being a player. Join to check out content for teams and about the league created by the community. Participate in pick'em games, play SFL fantasy football, and test your skills in the survivor pool. To join our server, visit simulationfl.net and click on the Discord icon on the menu. The SFL community 2,000 strong. We'll see you there. Sorry, Colin, go.
Robert Garrett Jr., his second big catch of the drive, and the Cowboy gets him deep within the red zone.
And those bunchy up, those high traffic
Lance.
Yeah, over the middle slants. They're going to stick with that. They like that.
He serves as the general manager off the field. It means he's partially responsible for retaining players or signing new ones in free agency. That Hacker spins and he almost drilled his way to the end zone, and he has 6 catches now. He's up to 69
yards. How about that?
On 13 targets. He had that 52-yard catch earlier.
Just think if he'd have caught a few more of those. He's actually surprised me with how many catches and yards he does have. Good job, Stephen.
Here's Bacon on the carry. Will lose a yard back to the 5 to set up a 3rd and 2, and this is a critical flashpoint.
Well, maybe this sets up some kind of play action or something.
And the Greek Nightmare, Achilles Papatonis, recording that TFL.
Greek Nightmare.
That's what he calls himself.
I love it. That's one of the best nicknames I've heard so far this season. Look at this.
Bacon on the swing. Oh, but an even more beautiful play by Drew Hamilton to make the stop at the line of scrimmage. Bacon trying to make something happen, grabbed the ball for only his 2nd catch.
Sorry, good individual effort by Hamilton there to stymie that play. There's another vocabulary word. We had plethora earlier. There was one in the first quarter. I'll remember it.
Amelia Rose on for another field goal attempt. This one to push the lead out to 20. It's good from 22 yards away. And it is now, at 5:26 to go, it's 20-9 football game. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on MLSD. It's the playoffs.
And we're back here in Fort Worth.
5:26 to go. The Toros in front 20-3. They have never beaten the Legion either in the regular season or the playoffs, but that could be changing here unless the Legion can come up with something big in the next 5 minutes and change.
Legion are going to need 2 scores, and their offense has struggled. Only kicking field goals. They may need some help on special teams or defense, Colin.
Or the defense.
The defense, right.
Tip power Fred Price from English people.
Right, well, British North America. The other name for Canada.
Here's Redford. Spinning catch behind his back with one hand. Manages to pick up 7. That's a good start.
That is a good start.
And it'll be second and
Get
3.
up. Hey, there we go.
And, if Vancouver is saying all these wounds we got, the mistakes, they're just flesh.
Just a flesh wound, right?
High formation. Deep back is Redford. Stern in front.
First man through.
Nope. Second man through. He stopped, and they're trying to catch him off guard here with the hurry up as Brown sets him up for 3rd and 3. They'll get up pass down the middle, catch made.
Wow.
To Curtis at the 48-yard line.
Curtis had himself a day, right?
That is
evening.
That is his, I want to say his 7th grab. Yes, it's down the middle. Wow, and it's killing. And just like that, in one lightning strike, the Moose is loose for a score.
Wake up the Echoes. Where the heck has that been all day, huh? Wow. Kirk Cousins is taking notes on that one, Colin. That's how you do it.
Yeah, he definitely, all of a sudden,
gets himself behind the secondary. And
looks like they're going to go for 2, which is a smart play here.
The smart set.
3 people in the backfield. Redford most likely to get the football in some shape or form. He'll get it here up the middle, and they get the 2.
Wow, he wanders right in. What do you know?
It's 20-17 with 4:18 left. Don't go anywhere, folks. If you turn this game off when it was 20-9, turn it back on, because we'll have an exciting conclusion here, perhaps.
Holy smoke. And with that, the Rick Meter staff chokes on their Mountain Dew and Pop-Tarts and breaks out their slide rules again. We're sitting on a lean Fort Worth, but Vancouver suddenly scoring points, doing work.
Oh, they're going to kick off instead of going for the onside.
Yeah, it's probably a little early to do that, but
Baker returns it from deep in his own end zone. It gets up to the 21.
How long was that scoring play?
That was
that drive recap. Where's that drive recap? Brought to you by
4 plays, 70 yards. And get 1 minute and 8 seconds and a 42-yard touchdown pass.
That drive summary brought to you by the Rick Meter. Visit the Rick Meter for all your football prognostication needs.
Here's Dunhill back to throw, fires complete up to Hacker, who picks up 6 yards.
Wow.
Stops the clock with 4:11. It's at the Fort Worth 26.
So the lead in the ball late in the 4th quarter, right? This is where you prove whether or not you should win this game, and that's now on the shoulders of the Fort Worth Toros and the Brain Trust. They need to figure out how to possess the ball, bleed the clock, and ideally put some more points on the board.
Here's the throw out to Bacon, spinning one-handed catch. He says, well, if Redford can do that, I can too, and picks up a first down at the Fort Worth 31. I think some of the so-called youngsters in our TV listening audience are probably wondering to themselves, what the heck is a slide rule? We'll get to that.
Well, I got to tell you, for all the youngsters in the listening audience, slide rules totally slap. They're fire.
But you didn't say what they are. But we still have to get to that. You didn't
That's what serious for. Or Google. Hey, stick around after the game. We'll send it back to SFL Studios, where the incomparable Cameron Irvine and Tyler Falk will recap Fort Worth's clash with Vancouver and set the stage for the rest of the quarterfinals this weekend. It's all coming up on the 8 p.m. Music post-game update.
2nd and 8. Ball on the 33-yard line. Clock is ticking under 3 minutes to go. Fort Worth elects to run some clock. Bacon almost picks up the first down, but it'll be stopped 2 yards short at the 39.
3rd and short, yep. This dramatic play coming up here in the 4th quarter.
You just need a little bit of tension orchestral music, I feel like. 300.
Look at you using words like orchestral.
359 total yards. They're only 3 of 11 on 3rd down. Boy, do they need this here if they want to move one step closer to advancing here in the playoff bracket. The Legion trying to get out of the 2nd round. Oh, it comes up with a stop. It comes up with a stop. Papatonas and Farnsey combine to stop Bacon 1 yard short of the sticks.
Oh, cue the scary orchestral tension music some more.
Eichhorn back for the punt. And this will probably come after the 2-minute warning.
Yep.
You're watching the SFL quarterfinal playoff game. SFL presented by EFM Music on NLSU. A 4th and 1. Vancouver Legion to come out of the 2-minute warning. I'm Colin Northrup. Rick Northrup is next to me here. Here in the broadcast position, our statisticians are Greg Soto and Justin Reside. Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ.
With special guest Tyler Falk. WSG.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, here we go.
1:54 left.
Where's your 2-minute offense? And Vancouver, I think, is 2-4 in one-possession games this season.
And Fort Worth has won it 2-1 in those same type of games. So this is not unfamiliar territory to either of these ball clubs. Christian Brown, 23 of 33. Touchdown and interception is James Walters.
You okay over there?
Catches that pass.
So
I'm fine. It's a pickup of 6. 2nd and 4. Down by 3. Field goal to tie touchdown to possibly win the football. Chris Curtis all the way down to the Fort Worth 43-yard line. And Curtis with a big grab.
Chris Curtis doing work. How many is that for that boy? You don't know? Nobody knows.
For Chris Curtis,
Yes.
I believe that's his 8th grab for 95 yards.
Oh, my goodness.
And they're going to run
Uh-oh.
with Redford, and they only pick up 1. So I think I see the strategy here, but they got to get moving down the field quicker.
Yep, trying to cross him up there with Redford handoff, see if he can break something. Open.
Out cross under a minute to go. They really have to start hustling. They do have all 3 timeouts in their back pocket, but not a lot of time to do it. They probably have to get just before the 31-yard line, maybe the 32 for reasonable field. Oh! Intercepted off the deflection by Aiden Davis and the Fort Worth Toros.
Uh-oh.
Look like they'll be hanging on.
Well, don't forget, Vancouver has all 3 timeouts.
Davis, the deflection. I didn't see who tipped the ball in the air, but the SFL's #1 intercepting team in terms of sheer interception numbers during the regular season grabs their 2nd one of the day.
Wow. Well, I do believe Fort Worth still needs to pick up a 1st down. Otherwise, skillful use of the Vancouver timeouts will
And they're
force a
going to
punt.
throw. Hacker.
Tries to stay in bounds. He
And
does.
Timeout called.
Yeah. 2nd and 2. Oh, and even Denver can't believe it. What's happened here? So close for Vancouver, and now they're left hanging by a thread with a timeout strategy.
It's 2nd and 2 on the 49. They need to get just over the 50. They want to advance.
They'll run it again here. No, they're going to throw.
And they get the 1st down.
Oh!
Packers down. They call timeout with 39 seconds left. And when they needed it most, Marcus Dunhill shows off some guts and fortitude as they elect to throw for a 1st down. And the ball is marked at the Legion 41-yard line.
Well, your Fort Worth Toros, #3 seed, look to advance here, Colin. As they go into the victory formation, it'll wrap it up at 20-17. There's Vancouver's last time out, thrown onto the funeral pyre that is their season now. As they'll be shown the exits, Fort Worth will advance. Who will they play next, Colin?
Well, it depends on the results of a couple of games, and let me give you to them now. If Carolina were to beat Arizona in the game later tonight, Carolina would travel to Fort Worth. They're the only team that cannot host the playoff game due to their seeding. If Arizona and Fort Worth win, Fort Worth travels to Arizona because the Scorpions are the higher seed in that particular scenario.
Okay.
Dunhill will don the ball. And Rick, this has been a fantastic game, a fantastic 20th season for you and I here in the broadcast booth.
Indeed.
And the next time you'll hear us, folks, will probably be in the summertime.
In the next 21st season, yeah. Yeah, we want to thank everybody for watching this game. And don't forget, we've got the SFL update coming in here at the end of this game. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I'm Rick Northrup.
Colin Northrup. Thank you to Justin Rezine and Greg Soto on stats. 20-17, your final score. Toros moving on.
Good night, everybody.
Stay tuned for the postgame. Tyler Falk and Cameron Irvine.
Welcome to Sim Football Postgame, where tonight Fort Worth held on. Tyler Falk, along with Cameron Irvine here with you. 20-17, Fort Worth escapes, get the win, and the Toros will be in their first ever semifinals. Season 6 in the SFL. They were 0-2 in the quarterfinals before tonight, and the Toros are going to be in our Final Four. What'd you think of the result?
Yeah, congratulations to the Toros. The defense really showed out here this evening. 7 tackles behind the line. The pass and rush defense really on full display here today, all over the football field. Let's see what I've got. Is that 9? If I can do math right, Cam, that's 9 pass deflections for the entire defense. We talked about Luther Gahn being, a really stalwart on that front line, getting his 6 tackles, but he was quickly replaced by Adam Leach and Delaney Nash, both surpassing him, getting enough defensive coverage out there just to help contain this Vancouver defense. Yes, Vancouver was able to come back in this one. Yes, Brett Killian had a fantastic grab and really got every person in the stockyards jumping, everyone here at home, and hopefully you guys watching at home up and moving as well. But we talk about football being a game of inches. This literally was the game of inches. We saw so many 4th and inches, 3rd and inches, first down decided by an inch, and ultimately the final pass was decided by about an inch, which ended up in the hands of the Toros. And that means, unfortunately, Vancouver, you're now 0-8 in your second playoff game in franchise history.
Yeah, the streak continues for the Legion, who were right in this game. They kept it close. I want to focus on what they were able to do well today. They had a game plan. They stuck to it. It was effective. It worked. Remington James made that great play at the end of the first half, and then Christian Brown's worst throw of the night came in the worst possible moment. Vancouver had a shot. They were right on the doorstep, and it wasn't to be. Kind of reminded me of Vegas's wild card loss to London, where they played well with a different game plan than they typically come out with, But yeah, that's a tough one to swallow, especially when you look at the box score and you say, well, we really didn't do much wrong in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I can find no fault besides the 2 passes we mentioned for Vancouver. And I know that team is going to go back to the locker room, back to the drawing board for season 21, and they're going to be like, what could have we done different? In my personal opinion, I think there's not a whole lot they could have done differently because they executed their game plan. Redford has over 100 yards on the ground. Christian Brown, 260 yards through the air and a touchdown. I mean, they played really well, really competitive here in Texas. But it just, like we said earlier, it was literally the game of inches. It came down to a few, you could say, missed calls, a few things that maybe could have been challenged. You could go back to the Robert Redford grab where Redford looked like he had stretched the ball over the end zone
that was
marker.
A bad call.
If that goes anywhere differently, I mean, we're looking at a completely different ballgame. We're looking at Fort Worth maybe trying to march down the field and find something. But ultimately, it ends up with Vancouver on the outside looking in to the semifinals.
I thought the difference in the game was Luther Gahn. He was incredible up front. Led the team for a long time with 6 tackles. Vancouver actually neutralized him. Didn't do a thing after we featured him on the broadcast, and he finished with 6 tackles and a couple sacks. But also, Remington James inside, and the slot guys, right, the secondary members of this defensive backfield held Blackwell to 0 catches and 2 targets. And Blackwell is a deep threat. He has been a problem for teams in this league, and Vancouver really didn't get a whole lot going in those one-on-one matchups. Their best players showed up to play. Killian had 106, Curtis had 95 through the air, Redford had 103, 128 all-purpose. So their best players came and stepped up and performed, but it's those other guys that sometimes lift you in the playoffs, and those other guys weren't able to get involved because of guys like Remington James and Noah Ragier and guys that we don't hear from as much during the course of the season, and they balled out for Fort Worth. I think that was the difference.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the names like Ben Stone had a few different, not a whole lot of tackles or anything, but that's 3 pass deflections. That's most of anyone on the football field today. You look at Delaney Nash and Aiden Davis, both with a couple deflections. Nash with 7 tackles from a strong safety spot. You look at just everyone did their part today to clog up running lanes to really contain Redford on the outside. And that's why we saw Redford cut back on the 2-point conversion, because he was trying to avoid the outside. The Toros did an excellent job of containing that outside, and that's just due to good coaching. And that proved why Fort Worth deserved the first round bye, why their record was so good this season, and why they're moving on to the next round.
Now 10-3, their best record before this season was 8-4, and so coming up at the top of the hour on the SFL YouTube channel is the second game of this quarterfinals and the top of this bracket, Carolina and Arizona. If Arizona wins, Fort Worth will go to Arizona in the semifinal next Saturday, and if Carolina wins, Fort Worth will host the semifinal against the Skyhawk team they lost to earlier this season by 13. So, it's really exciting. Hall of Fame inductees announcement at halftime as well, and that kicks off at the top of the hour. Tyler and I will be there for the call of that one. Get on our Hyperjet and zip on over to Phoenix for a big one in Arizona tonight. Vancouver falls 20-17 to the Fort Worth Toros in, another terrific playoff game in the SFL, and we've had a pretty nice start to our playoffs. We've had a couple of thrillers with Carolina's big win over Tulsa, and Vancouver and Indy was real good for 3.5 quarters. Last week is two on NLSE. Next week on NLSE, we've got your first semifinal, same time, same place, Saturday, May 6th at 6:30, and don't miss the SFL championship game the weekend following that. Stay tuned for which of the semifinals you will see here on our Saturday showcase game. Final thoughts on Fort Worth getting it done?
Well, for the Toros, they keep on charge, and they did their job today. Now they got to look forward to tonight's game, and we'll figure out who gets the Toros, whether or not the Toros will host a playoff game or whether they will have to travel over to Arizona, which would be a very impeccable southern matchup. Texas, Arizona, always fun. Just rival with all 3 Texas teams with Arizona in a way. And again, congratulations to the Toros. Unfortunately, Vancouver, they fall. Legion will be back strong in season 21.
20-17, Fort Worth gets the victory over Vancouver. For Colin Northrup, Rick Northrup, Justin Reside, and Greg Soto in our stat truck today. Tyler Falk here with me in studio. Going to get this place all ship shape in no time as we look forward to the future of the SFL, and you're starting to see it being built here today, right here on Next Level Sports. From all of us at the Simulation Football League, I'm Cameron Irvine saying thank you so much for watching. Visit simulationfl.net for all your league information and updated numbers. We'll see you next weekend on Next Level Sports for another SFL Saturday Showcase presented by APM Music. On the other side, until then, Tyler, take them home.
Good evening, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen.